potentially in the longer run, is through a negotiated political solution based on Resolution 2254 and the Geneva Communiqué. That's really the basis. Number two, ahead of the negotiations in Geneva, we provided full support to Stéphane de Mistura. We've called the Syrian regime to engage seriously in the discussions, and we have reiterated our support to the HNC, the High Negotiations Committee led by Riyad Hijab. The efforts to get a ceasefire in the south, in particular, are a positive step that needs to be concretely implemented on the ground and extended to the rest of the country, both. We also need to build on the Astana talks to set up a credible, a robust, and inclusive monitoring mechanism of the ceasefire. And you know that it has been France's request for quite long now to have this monitoring mechanism. Number three, you have heard President Macron yesterday, and he has made clear that we favor a contact group based on the permanent members of the Security Council and regional players as well, having a special role to play to promote peace. We think it's crucial to unite the international community at this stage, to take new initiatives, while, of course, fully support Stéphane de Mistura's efforts. So this is what our policy is all about. I will, in a few minutes, reiterate France's support to Stéphane and his efforts. Also mention President Macron's proposals that I just alluded to. I don't need to come back to the two key issues that we are particularly firm on. First of all, the use of chemical weapons, which is a red line for us, as President Macron reiterated several times, but also the utmost necessity of humanitarian aid to be delivered to those in need, and this is also something I will reiterate in the coming consultation. So here we are, full support to Stéphane. I believe there is a sense among key players that might be a window of opportunity to push hard in a united way to move ahead on a political solution in Syria, and France is ready and willing to take its part.
The President suggested an action be taken here from the Security Council regarding what you just mentioned. And there is a question. There is already a contact group for Syria, and what's different from what's this new proposal how is going to be different from the contact group that already exists?
Sure. There are several bodies that exist, several groups that exist. As President Macron said yesterday, again, is that in France's views, there is the need for a contact group based in particular on the 5 permanent members of the Security Council who need to be united, and the key regional players, plus others. There is no such group for the time being. And of course, this proposal is also a way for us to push for united views among the 5 permanent members of the Security Council, which is needed. And that's where we are right now. Again, we'll listen to Stéphane, what he has to say, and based on his assessment and also recommendations, we think it's time to do whatever we can do together to move ahead, to move forward. We think there is a window, and we think we should move. That's our responsibility.
On a meeting about UNAMI today, the mandate wouldn't change that much, but in Iraq, as you know, the situation is radically changing. The Mosul has been liberated. There's a talk about national reconciliation. Why you didn't expand the I would say, the powers of Yanukovych to act more on, especially national reconciliation in Iraq?
No, that's a good question, but you're right. I have to run a bit, I believe. I'll get back to you on this. I don't want to be late for Stefan. You're right. Sorry for that.
Thank you.
May I get back to you?
Okay.
Okay. Sorry for that.
Questions